What's up, guys? Coach Christy and Coach Britt here outside the grocery store. We're gonna run in here real quick and give you a little run through on what we kind of like to look for when we go for our weekly groceries for our meal prep. We're gonna walk around, starting with the main macros, the proteins, carbs, veggies, and just give you some different ideas.
The main thing that we want to think about when we go into the grocery store is walking around the perimeter, trying to avoid the aisles as best as possible, because the perimeter is where you're going to find most of your whole foods and most nutritious foods. We'll also go over a little bit of nutrition labels and give you guys a couple of protein snack ideas for the week.
All right, we don't know how this is going to go with the masks and with filming inside a grocery store, but we're going to give it our best shot and see what we can do for you. All right, guys, so we walked over here and we are looking around to see what kind of quick grab and go snack options there would be if we were like running in on a lunch break and looking for something that we could just eat real quick. So we're gonna look at this label here. Ooh, okay, so this looks like it would be just one to eat, but a half is $2.50. 13 fat, 21, and only 9 protein. So to get close to 20 grams of protein, you would have to eat 500 calories. So probably not going to go for that. Let's see if there's a better option. 700 calories for this one. 48 fat. I'm going to go with a no. Yes.
So sometimes like going for the pre-packaged stuff might not always be the best option. So you can always go for like hard-boiled eggs, which if we look at that package, it's going to give you the serving size, which is for the whole package. It's 2, 8 fat, 0 carb, and 12 grams. Now this is just mainly protein and fat. From here you can go to like the vegetables, grab some carrots, grab some celery. You can go grab maybe some like crackers, get your carbs in, so that way you kind of create your own meal rather than going for something that's pre-made that's going to have the higher fats like the sandwiches, because again here it's going to have 37 grams of fat for one sandwich, whereas you can almost make the same thing yourself for half the calories.
There's got to be one of these that's decent, right? 2 servings. So this one's not terrible.
This one's not bad either.
Half of this sandwich is 8 fat, 24 protein, or 24 carb, and 17 protein. That one is way better option.
This one as well.
Yeah. This one, 9 fat, 16 carb, 18 protein. So always look at the protein number first. You want about close to 20 grams, if not more, in that serving size. And then similar in carb, and then about half of that in fat. So this is a better option. Don't just grab and go, like really look at the options here. It just scored on some pre-cooked roasted chicken meat. Boom.
This is going to be 2 pounds of shredded chicken meat, and this is something that's really easy to grab. If you don't have time to meal prep for the week, this is something that you can toss on one of these pre-made salads over here.
Boom. Again, we just got our salads.
So this one looks like it might be pretty good. You know, it says non-GMO oil, you know, whatever that means, creamy ranch. But if you look at the serving size, 2 tablespoons is 19 grams of fat. That is a large amount, and a 2 tablespoons is like this little itty bitty amount. So if we look at this other brand, Bolthouse Farms, it is really macro friendly. So 2 tablespoons is 3 grams of fat, 3 grams of carbs, and 1 gram of protein. Only 45 calories. So you can definitely probably have 2 servings of that, and that would be just enough for your salad.
Over here in the fruits and veggies section, we just want to point out these pre-chopped veggies. They take the hard work out for you. So you can just toss these in your wok, cook them up real quick. You can steam these easily. They've done all the work for you. Look at this. Chopped onions, chopped jalapenos. If you don't want to take the time to chop it yourself, pre-chopped veggies. Then of course, salad bags. I'm always going to recommend just sticking with these basic ones and then adding your own toppings, unless these are super duper on sale. But I rarely use the pack of the stuff that they give you because it's hard to manage. We just want to show you to not be persuaded by the labels of like 13 grams of protein here, because when you turn it, okay, fat fine, 56 grams of carbs in this from sugar. Yeah, there's 13 grams of protein, but there's 56 grams of carbs. Down here, protein keto, 22 fat, 15 carbs from sugar alcohols, which is gonna make you fart, and 15 protein. So don't let these little cute drinks fool you. Pre-made protein shakes. The one that caught my eye was this Rockin' Protein Plus Energy, because anything with caffeine is my friend, and it's actually super decent. So we got 3.5 on the fat, 14 on the carb, and 30 grams of protein. And it's got cold brew in it, guys.
Let's actually check out some of these other ones as well. So they have energy, they have recovery, which have a little bit more carbs. So this could be, I guess, if you are on the go right after a workout and you don't have anything with you, you have the 20 grams of carbs and a little bit of, 46 grams of carbs, 20 grams of protein, a little bit of fat. So if
we are over to the meat, the processed meat. We're just gonna go ahead and not talk about hot dogs, but we're gonna talk about some chicken sausages. Some really great options.
We have chicken apple sausage, but there's also a lot of different flavors of these two brands. Now, if we turn them over, you will notice the fat content is a little bit higher in these. 10 grams of fat, 11 grams for this one. But the protein's pretty good, 13 grams of protein in both. So this is something you can easily do for breakfast and just toss in some egg whites or something. And that way you have your protein and fat for that meal.
In comparison to your traditional Johnsonville better with cheddar wiener schnitzels that have 17 grams of fat and only 8 grams of protein. So that's the biggest difference there, is the fat's about knocked in half, and then you're gonna get a more balanced protein content going with the chicken sausage over these, traditional beef, or like, what are they even made out of? Pork brats. All right, guys, we're over to the ground meat section. We're gonna talk about the fat percentages and the difference in fat on some of these commonly found Jenny O ground turkey packs.
So we have one that's 85% lean, 15% fat. Now, if we turn it over, you're gonna see it's 13 grams of fat, 17 grams of protein for 4 ounces here. So that is the serving size. So always remember, look at the serving size when it is breaking down that macro content. Then we'll look at the 93.7. If we turn that around, you'll notice it's 8 grams of fat, 21 grams of protein. Again, for 4 ounce serving. So it is just a little bit less calories, but a lot less fat and a little more protein.
Yeah, so always try and aim for that at least 90-10, if not 93.7.
We even can go for a 99.1. We turn that around, 120 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, 26 grams of protein. So if you really don't want any fat in your meat, this is going to be the way you want to go.
All right, we are over here in the chicken section. We're going to go over the difference between the chicken thighs, chicken wings, chicken breasts, and boneless, skinless chicken thighs.
So the chicken thighs with or without skin, we're going to look at the macros. It's 4.5 grams of fat, 22 grams of protein, 140 calories for 4 ounces. Now, if we look at the chicken thighs with skin, you'll notice the fat content is 19 grams there, 19 grams of protein, and 250 calories. Again, 4 ounces. So this is something you're going to want to pay attention to when you go to pick out your meat, whether it has the skin on or the skin off. Now, chicken breast, just a little bit less fat, 3 grams of fat per 4 ounces. Again, this is skinless chicken breast. And then we can look at chicken wings. Wings will probably always have skin on them. We can look at that. It's going to be 15 grams of fat, 20 grams of protein, 210 calories.
Here in the cottage cheese section.
So we have a couple different options with cottage cheese. You can get the full fat one, but if you look at the macros, the fat on it really isn't that bad. 5 grams for a half a cup. But you look at the protein, which is 12, and we can compare that to a fat-free one, where it's 0 fat, but also 12 grams of protein. So if you're really looking for something like in a pinch and you enjoy eating cottage cheese, this could be something that will help fill those protein numbers, but not overdo it on the fat. And you can even go low fat as well, 2.5 grams of fat. This is a nice little quick snack midday, or at night you can add some fruit in it as well, just to kind of sweeten it up for your dessert if you'd like.
Yeah, so you got really great options here. 5 grams of fat, 2.5, or no fat, depending on where your numbers are. You can really tailor your cottage cheese to your macro needs. These are my favorite treats. A squirt of this after a meal, amazing. Right in your mouth. This one's real good too if you're not into coconut. So bomb, so bomb. Here's another great example of a pretty bottle, but a really big no-no. So, pink virgin lemonade. I like my lemonade naughty. I don't know about you, but 8 ounces. We got 27 carbs, 25 from sugar. The second ingredient after water is sugar. So pay attention to the ingredients too. All right, we're to everyone's favorite yogurt section. Oh, yums. Yums.
All right.
I'm distracted.
Now I'm gonna look at Yoplait. This is probably the most popular yogurt brand out there. So let's compare a light one to their original one. Okay, so the light is gonna have 90 calories versus 150. We have 2 grams of fat in the regular, 0 grams of fat in light. Still a good amount of carbs in both of them, 27, 18, and then not much of a difference in protein. But let's take a look again at those sugar levels. 20 grams of sugar for the light. Oh, sorry, 10 grams of sugar for the light, 20 grams of sugar for the original. That's a lot of sugar in this little container.
We're gonna compare that to one of my favorite yogurts. Ooh, and they even have a pumpkin spice for all you pumpkin people. So for one yogurt is 80 calories, only 8 carbs and 12 grams of protein. So a way better split and 0 fat. So all these Light and Fits are gonna be really great options. 12 grams of protein in all of these, 80 calories, and they all have less than 10 carbs. And there are so many yummy fruit flavors. There you go for all you Greek pumpkin peoples.
And then actually, this is one of my favorite yogurt brands. There's one that has 0%, but this one has 2%. A little bit more calories than the one that Christy showed you. It's 140, 4 grams of fat, but there's 20 grams of protein in this whole container. So what I like to do is I actually grab the 0 one. I'll toss a couple of berries in it. So if you want to see, it's 90 calories. Toss a couple berries in it, maybe some powdered peanut butter, powdered almond butter, whatever, just to give a little flavor and try to mix it up.
This is one of my personal favorite aisles. I love crunch. I need crunch at almost every meal. And right when we walked in, I saw these, which are one of my go-to crunchy snacks. So these pop chips are so bomb. They're so lightweight, so you can get a bunch per serving. And one serving is 5 grams of fat, 19 carbs, and 2 protein. So they're going to be a little bit lower on the carbs, and you get way more. So, you know, if you take Doritos, for instance, she's going to grab some Doritos to compare. Any of these like popped airy chips, these popcorners are one of Britt's favorites. They're super good.
So we're over to the pasta. So all these ones up here are plant-based, so they're made out of chickpeas. Got a couple different brands now. This one is one of my favorite go-tos. It is made from chickpeas.
Shit peas.
We have 23 grams of protein, 8 grams of fiber. So if you're struggling to get that fiber in, this is a good option as well. So look at the serving sizes here. So it's 2 ounces dry, so be careful when you're doing pasta. Always look at the servings because it's gonna always tell you dry. So per serving, it's 3.5 grams of fat, 32 grams of carb, but 13 grams of protein. as opposed to like a regular pasta here where you're only gonna have 7 grams of protein for 56 grams as a serving, which is also the same thing. So a little less calories and a little more protein in this.
So we are over to the sauce aisle. We're just going to talk about the differences if you're going to do like a pasta dish. So I brought over a basil pesto, a tomato and basil like traditional pasta sauce, and then a classic Alfredo sauce. So we're going to look at the serving size as well as the calories and macro content. So in 1/4 a cup of the pesto sauce, we're looking at 230 calories, 22 grams of fat for the sauce alone. So yes, it's coming from oil, but you're still getting those macros. So you're getting 22 grams of fat and 230 calories versus a half of a cup, so twice the amount of sauce, only 50 calories and only 8 grams of carbs and only 1 fat, 2 protein. So way better there. And then over to the Alfredo, back to only 1/4 of a cup for your serving, 7 grams of fat, 3 carb, 1 protein. So if you were to do that half a cup serving, you're getting 14 grams of fat from your sauce alone. So I would say maybe skip the cream-based sauce, maybe skip that pesto and go for a lower sugar, no sugar added pasta sauce. All right, the infamous protein bar aisle. So one of the most frequented bars that I see people go for are these Cliff bars. And what we are going to see is a very high carb number and a pretty low protein number. Okay, so this bar was designed for sustaining energy out in, on hikes and long runs and long bike rides and things like that. It's not the most balanced bar, in comparison to say like a Quest bar that's gonna have higher protein carb balance where their carbs are actually coming from fiber. These one bars are pretty tasty too, where you're gonna see 7 fat, 22 carb, and 20 protein. So it's more of a like your full meal there, but personally I don't feel like they're that fulfilling. I'm hungry like 30 minutes after I eat a bar, but they're a great way to just get a little bump of protein, a little boost, and kind of get like a little sweet treat. Fat and looking for a really quality bar. RX bars are super high quality, made from really great ingredients, and they're delicious, but you have to have carbs for them. You gotta have carbs. Yeah, 24 grams of carbs. Open. 24 grams of carbs, 7 grams of fat, and only 12 grams of protein. So not as high on the protein and higher on the carbs. So you gotta have the numbers for them. But what I love about this bar, and the reason I want to talk about it, is the ingredients are super duper clean, whereas some of those others have, some processed ingredients and things. These are really clean and really tasty. You just got to have the numbers. So be careful with bars. Make sure that you look at them.
I also want you guys to know about these cookies. Okay, be careful with these. 16 grams per cookie, cool. But if you look at the serving size, it's only half of a cookie. Okay, so you're not gonna eat just half of this cookie. Okay, you're gonna eat the whole thing. So it's 420 calories per cookie, 30 grams of carb, 16 grams of, I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Look, see? 59 grams of carbs per cookie, 16 grams of protein, and 12 grams of fat. So this is not very macro friendly. Okay, there's so many other things that you can have besides these for a treat that
like a meat bar.
Even the Quest ones. Even the Quest cookies. Quest cookies have a high fat content. So it's 13 grams of fat, 22 grams of carbs, 15 grams of protein. This is an even smaller cookie than the Lenny and Larry.
Yeah, protein bars you gotta be wary about. You gotta look. Look at the numbers on them, see what you're working with, know your numbers, where are you usually falling short, and then find a bar that fits that. Maybe you need fat, maybe you need carbs.
I will say that Quest protein chips are actually pretty macro friendly if you're looking for that crunch and really need some protein, but you don't have very many carbs to spare. This whole bag is 5 grams of carbs and 19 grams of protein.
Boom.
14.5 grams of fat. So this is a great option for that crunch.
And you could always just go back to a meat bar. Meat bar. All right, so Britt and I just finished up with our tour de grocery store. We went over many labels and explained it all, kind of what to look for on the labels, and some great high protein choices for you guys, and some things to maybe just stay away from. So we hope it will help you navigate the grocery store next time you go. Have a good one.